Hi everyone. This is my second attempt at recording a video for Project Starsoul. I did a quick test run and I've got OBS working properly. So I'm excited to share with you guys how the game is going. Let's start it. Okay, as you can see, we've got the new art plugged in. Background art, done with watercolor, and then did some post-processing in Photoshop. Hand-drawn characters and then colored as well in Photoshop. So uh, did them with pencil sketches and then inked them, scanned them in, then cleaned them up in Photoshop and colored them. And so likewise with the monsters, with the enemies. And so everything is starting to come together visually. It's starting to get that nice, unique character that I wanted to have. I wanted it to have. So let me just give you a quick rundown of what gameplay is like. So far, this is using the old UI. I'm planning on updating all of this here soon. But we choose an attack, and you can play with this game, keyboard and mouse, or a gamepad. I'm just for ease of access right now. I'm just using a mouse. So I'll choose to attack, and then you can choose which enemy you want to attack. And it's turn-based, but it's uh, single action or single choice. So each character will go one after another. First the player goes, and then the enemy, so on and so forth until they've all gone, and then that specific round ends, and then restarts until all enemies are gone or until all player characters are destroyed. So I'm just going to kind of run through here and try to get all the characters out, or the monsters defeated. And that splash screen that kind of pops up when either the player characters or the enemies make an attack is a placeholder right now, but it's meant to indicate what will be a specific sprite depending on the kind of attack that the enemy or the player decides to do. And then once you've defeated all the enemies and the combat round is over, you go into intermission where you choose your upgrades for each of your characters. So as opposed to traditional RPGs where when you level up, you already have these fixed stat gains into hit points, attack, defense, critical, magic defense, magic attack, uh, new skills and techniques, etc. I'm kind of taking some notes from computer RPG leveling systems where you have a specific stat system that you can manually customize and increase with a set amount of skill points as you gain a level. You know, we look at classic games like Fallout or Baldur's Gate, anything that's based off of Dungeons and Dragons, things like that, or the newer Wasteland games. Um, yeah, so the typical CRPG is you customize your characters by assigning skill points. I'm kind of thinking a mix between the JRPG, classic RPG way of doing things, and the CRPG. So your experience points are currency, and depending on how much currency or how much EXP or experience points each of your characters have, you can choose to buy in upgrades and increase, basically buying your hit points up, or your attack up, your defense up, your critical up. Um, Eventually, as you go through more and more rounds, the kinds of upgrades you can purchase will change, and there will be specific purchases you can make that will only be available to specific characters. Like say, whether it's going from inventory items to specific specials or superpowers that your characters can get. The Some of them can only be used on certain kinds of characters. Not all of them will be able to buy them. So as the game development progresses, I'll be adding all those little details. So right now, I'm just going to increase everybody's attack as much as I can. And there's some little polish elements I have to put in later on. Things like if you're out of EXP, we'll be able to see that. You'll be able to see how much experience points you have remaining, things like that. Right now, I'm just kind of putting all those things right here on the console log until I'm able to actually put them in game so they're visible to the player. But that'll also come, when I update the display cards for each of the characters. Okay, I think I've upgraded everybody. Okay, so I right click, finish the intermission, and go on to the next round. So every set amount of rounds, new enemies will appear. So right now we just have three types of enemies: the black salamanders, the monoclops, and the black striders. Uh, Eventually, over time, I'd like to add more characters and more monsters to choose from. And so this is basically the core loop of the game. Fight, upgrade your characters, and proceed to the next round. So on and so forth. I'm going to try to play a little bit quicker here so you guys can see what happens as I keep going through the different rounds. Okay, we upgraded. They should be able to start one-shotting some of these. The black salamanders are the weakest of the enemies, but we seem to be missing a lot. So hopefully nobody dies here. There we go. Okay. Okay. And I have audio muted, so I'm just using currently some placeholder audio and stuff. But eventually I'd like to start plugging in some more specific and characteristic audio for each of the different actions and background music and all that good stuff. Okay. I think that's it. Alright, let's increase our maximum hit points. And there we go. We have some other enemies popping up. So this is what gameplay is looking like so far. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys later.